This is what I'm about to say about these Steelers right now. We just saw it. We just saw this book just last year. These boys started off 11-0. They won their first 11 games. And I'm gonna be honest, like I've even said on the show before, I was defending when people were saying they were the most fluky and most, over analyzed. What am I trying to say? Overhyped 11-0 team. You know what I mean? I wasn't really listening to that. I was saying there's no way you can go 11-0 and not have some of the cachet behind it in the league. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to even say that now, but I watched it with my own eyes. They went to the top of the cliff and fell off the top of the cliff like nobody I've ever seen.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of the Rocket City Network. Hey, I got a special guest, co-host. Hey, what's up, Erik, man?
What's poppin', Mike Weeze? What's poppin'?
Hey, man, you know what it is. Week 1 NFL. Just got off the line with Reggie Fresh. He's very excited, very happy about the Steelers. And he had some disparaging words for the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns can have 50 bye weeks. It don't matter. They the same old Browns. They suck.
But they beat y'all last year.
And that was a Super Bowl to them.
I just want to ask you, man, first off, do you like the direction your team is going?
Yes. That's a simple answer, just yes. But I mean, first and foremost, this was week 1. I'm not about to go crazy off the roof. First, I don't like moral victory. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of a lot of extra positive stuff in the midst of a loss, which I can agree with some of it, but it's still a loss to me. So I don't really praise losses. But past that point, that was our toughest game of the season. Yeah. Like that was the toughest team we're gonna see all season at their home game 1. You know what I mean? Like, I would be more discouraged about it, but I really feel like we kind of gave the game up. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of had control of the game, the majority of the game, really all of it, into the end. And it's Pat Mahomes, you know what I mean? Like, it's Pat Mahomes and that offense. You know what I mean? Not to make light of us losing it, but I mean, we lost to our division champs from last year. So I mean, they're a better football team than us today. I don't even know if they would be a better football team than us in the postseason. We gonna have to see about that because, that was a tough game right there. But past that, yeah, just simple for them. I'm feeling real confident about my team going forward. I'm real confident.
Yeah. So based off of Reggie Fresh's analysis, he believes that the Steelers beating the Bills was a bigger deal than you guys losing to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys losing to the Buccaneers. He believes that the Bills were a better team than those two teams who played in the Super Bowl last year. What do you say to that?
Okay, so I gotta get a laugh out first. That kind of sound. I mean, listen. The Bills are. I'm not gonna make light of they win because of the Steelers won. They won, and the Bills I feel like is a good team. They're definitely a playoff contending team and all of that type of stuff. But we're talking about the two teams that went to the Super Bowl last season. If you want to get into who's better, the Chiefs actually played the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, if we want to get into who's better, I like Josh Allen. I do like him, and I like Stephon Diggs. Like, they got a solid team. But if we want to talk about like better as far as New England and Kansas City, New England. I mean, not New England, but
Bucks.
I keep saying New England just because of Tom Brady. You already know. But you want to talk about the champions, and then the team that faced the champions. Those have to be the two best teams like in the league. And you want me to be honest and to be real about it? I'm gonna be honest and be real. Dallas looked better than them too. I think, man, listen. with my Cleveland. If y'all can see that, say Cleveland Browns #1 fan. I don't have
Yes,
nothing
sir.
to do with. I don't have nothing to do with anything past Cleveland, right? But if I'm watching football and everybody saw that, you know what I mean. Thursday night, that was something to be encouraged about. Again, not making light of losses because it was a loss, and that's what all that that's all it says at the end of the day. On the record, but the same thing I said about the Browns. The Chiefs was the best team we're gonna see all season. I think the Buccaneers are probably the best team the Dallas is gonna see all season, especially in their division. You know what I mean? So if we want to talk about that looking forward, if you can honestly hang in with the champion contenders and really have grasp, I think we had a real grasp of the game. We was leading the whole time. Dallas kind of was. They was a little, they were kind of back and forth and a little bit, gun throwing or whatever. So I don't want to just say they had more grasp of the game. I just knew who we was playing. Like 12 points wasn't enough to beat Pat Mahomes. Like a lead of 12 points, not enough. Yeah. But the Steelers, man, I mean, come on, bro. You know what I mean? I would rather chalk that up as the Bills looking not as good as they looked last year, rather than the Steelers looking so much better than what they are. We're not doing that.
So Reggie definitely went off on me when I said that I see the Steelers going 8-9, right? So he brought that up, and he was upset that I was going in on his Steelers. He did mention that Big Ben is back, right? He said Big Ben looked good, and I said, hey, look, okay, you said that you know who the Steelers are as a team because you're the #1 fan. But you should know that Big Ben is going to eventually falter. He didn't like that. So he believes that the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win it. And y'all are the same old Browns, SOBs. And that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. And I'm just being a messenger. And so what do you have to say about the Steelers? Because I mean, they look formidable, but I just think they're going to trip and fall like they did last year.
This is what I'm about to say about these Steelers right now. We just saw it. We just saw this book just last year. These boys started off 11-0. They won their first 11 games. And I'm going to be honest, like I've even said on the show before, I was when people were saying they were the most fluky and most, over analyze or what am I trying to say? Overhyped 11-0 team, you know what I mean? I wasn't really listening to that. I was saying there's no way you can go 11-0 and not have some of the cachet behind it in the league. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to even say that now, but I watched it with my own eyes. They went to the top of the cliff and fell off the top of the cliff like nobody I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody record-wise look that well, just if you're just looking at their record and then not actually be that well on the field. And then the way it all collapsed in the playoffs, handed to him by the Browns. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Like we go in the off season and get a whole bunch of pieces to contend with the Chiefs the first game. Yeah. And we get our offense back and we're paying people, and the Steelers go and get
Haskins.
Haskins. I mean, they got Najee Harris. I like Najee Harris, but I mean Haskins and keep the same team, and you're supposed to be like better than what we were last year. I don't think that they're not better than what we were last year.
So he believes that he believes that y'all took his bye week, or the NFL. It's this conspiracy that y'all took the bye week, had no crowd noise. That's the reason why they faltered later on in the year.
No crowd.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree that them taking his bye week, which they didn't take the bye week, he just had to have it, a little earlier than in the season. Do y'all believe that was the demise of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The demise of the Steelers, especially when it comes to the Browns, is what that man said earlier, and what they tried to depict us as before the game started. The same old Browns. They're trying to make that case that we literally are that same Browns team that went 0-16. Me being a fan, it's hard for me to come out of it because I've seen us be bad so long. And so it's hard for me to actually come out and say, man, we actually a good team and we have a chance to do this and a chance to do that. But I'm at that point now. So I understand, you know, with me being a fan and understanding like everything that's going on with the team and then him not doing that you don't believe in that, especially being a rival, because whatever, man, we rivals. But at that same time, when we smack you on the field, when you underestimate what we can do to you, and then we get in the playoffs and you got everybody that you said that you was missing the first time when we lost to, like the last time you lost to us, all of them on the field, and we smack you again in the playoffs at home. It's like, what else do you want us to do? What else do you want us to do to you? Because I understand it's a different thing to win a championship, and it's a different thing to like even win a division on a consistent basis. But we smacked you though. Like you got work in the most crucial time of the season.
You know what he's gonna say, right? Get you some rings. What do you say to that? What do you say to that when you have a discussion with him? And I've gone through this too. And a lot of times he'll pivot to that, you know, and it's indisputable. You can't only one team has the amount of rings that the Steelers have. So when he diverts to that talking point, get you some rings. I mean, what do you
what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, it reminds me of like, a kid might be getting bullied in school or whatever, right? You might be getting bullied on.
Yeah.
All this kid has on him is his book bag. These kids, they jumping on you and they getting on you. You can use that book bag to shield off people hitting you. They're still beating you up though. You're not winning. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when we start talking about the future and what's coming up, it doesn't look the same. They're leaving the era. Yeah. They're leaving a Big Ben era. I don't really know, what the plan is after Big Ben, but they're just holding on to the end of him to the point to where they don't know where they're gonna go. I've been looking for options. They're talking about Dwayne Haskins. Listen, Dwayne Haskins hopefully can be an option, but he really hasn't been a good lead quarterback for whatever reason. Going to the Redskins or by his own account, being immature, not wanting to play, whatever the case, he just hasn't been a good quarterback. So even though he might have talent, we don't know that he can be that guy. And once you start talking about, our division, it's a tough division for the quarterbacks just in general because they can beat you. And I'm not even just talking about mine. I'm looking at Joe Burrow, obviously Lamar, and then like we lost to the Chiefs. Baker Mayfield can throw the ball. He can make some stuff shake. I don't know if the Steelers are going to have enough offense at that point. You know what I mean? Like they don't have no Chiefs offense to score on us 6 out of 7 possessions. That was a lot. You know what I mean? And they don't really have that. So now what are you basing your optimism on? Like I said, I'm not going to take the Bills win away from them, but that Bills win doesn't make you better than the Ravens, make you better than the Browns. I want to see that Bengal game. I want to see that. You know what I mean? I want to see that with a healthy Joe Burrow. We see what that look like.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where I try to explain to Mr. Fresh that there's something called a window, right? In the last 10 years, the Steelers haven't been that dominant team. Now everybody seems to be catching up with them, making the right moves, getting the right pieces together. And the Steelers are losing pieces. They're losing their quarterback. He doesn't have much time left. So it's kind of like they're going to have to start rebuilding sooner or later. And with rebuilding, you're not going to have 11-0 start, So, and I also explained to him too, when you're relying on the older quarterback in his last year with the franchise, they typically don't do well, right? You look at Tom Brady. He didn't have a good season with the Patriots his last year. Look at Phillip Rivers. You look at Breeze. You look at Aaron Rodgers. So that's what I was trying to explain to him. But of course, Big Ben can do no wrong. What do you say to that?
Okay, so my thing is this: the Steelers have a as of right now, the Steelers have an internal problem of not wanting to pay their best players.
Yes.
Right. And it's kind of been that for a while, whatever, where they're trying to be, tight on the pocket and not pay. Well, they just had a situation with TJ Watt. TJ Watt led the league in sacks and had crazy quarterback hits last year. You know what I mean? Like, they have an internal problem with not wanting to pay these guys. On down to Le'Veon, all the wide receivers, Antonio. Fresh, check this part out, Fresh, because I'm going to touch him right here. He always would say, "Oh man, what are these guys going to do after they leave the Steelers? They're going here and they're going there. They ain't doing nothing." Antonio Brown is doing better, like better. He might not have the stats that he used to have because you were throwing the ball 15 times a game. Yeah. But I'm saying this man can have 5 catches and 100 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they can actually win and not just win the division or get to the playoffs, but win a championship. I did it the first year with him. So later on, I need him to kind of rebuttal that to some type of degree. Like, why is this man going? Because he actually went to a solid team. Because when we start talking about all the rest of the Steelers after they left the Steelers and when he got the money, they didn't really go to solid teams.
Yeah.
And so now Le'Veon Bell, you see what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation. So I think it's more than just Big Ben. I don't know if they have a direction as far as paying skilled positions or paying people that need to play in general. TJ Watt is one of the best defensive players in the league, regardless of position. That man had to go back and forth with you about some money. And y'all not paying anybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are they paying crazy like that? That offensive line, it's getting old. You know what I mean? You got the young Najee Harris. I like him, but that line getting old. What's the running back without a line? Is he Barry? I don't.
Yeah. So, and I've had these discussions with Fresh in the last couple of weeks, and he just doesn't believe in paying players. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, what industry could you not pay top talent in and be successful? I don't think any industry. That doesn't matter what business venture you're into, you have to pay for top talent. And the NFL is no exception. But you know what? They got them rings.
This is the whole thing. And see, that's the thing. You used to be able to just when they got a lot of those rings. Obviously a 2,000 ring, yeah. These players are getting paid a lot more money now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot more money getting thrown around. And players aren't just playing, and I don't like to say this, but they're not playing just for the love of the game. They're playing for that bread. And you can't get upset with these players because they want money. You know what I mean? Some guys, instead of being on a consistent playoff team and having a chance to get to a championship for less money is not the opportunity they want. Some guys want to take 2 times that money and say, I would just be the best I can be over here with whatever I can do over there. And so you can fault them for that being a fan, but as a man and as a profession, when is it not okay to take the most money?
Yeah. And we're talking about generational wealth, right? Right. You look at Dak Prescott. He's making what, $75 million this year? Some crazy number, right? We're talking about generational wealth. And a lot of guys, they rather take that generational wealth versus a ring, just to be on the Steelers. So I can never kind of get behind not wanting to pay the players what they're worth and what they bring to the team.
We'll see, and then sometimes you got to look at it on the other side also, to where maybe a player knows that he's not worth a certain type of money, but he also knows that the market that he's in demands that type of money. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm Le'Veon Bell and I'm a running back, I know running backs don't get a lot of bread because of the position. The low span of it, and you got to really be a top 3 running back to really get money like that, right?
Yeah.
Why would I not try to cash out as much as possible on my career when I know my career expectancy is so short, right? So now I'm a running back and I'm Le'Veon Bell and I'm the best running. I'm top 3 running back in the league. I'm getting, you know what I mean, 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. Excuse me, and you still won't give me any money. Now I'm about to go to the Jets that's gonna give me some money. Now I think he made a bad decision because they didn't end up giving him a lot. I think he thought his market was more than what it was. But the only thing with that is it was because he stayed in Pittsburgh so long. They franchised him, right?
Yep.
I think they franchised. So he already did the team deed and got franchised and took that risk on his body to where if he got hurt, he could have lost extra millions of dollars. You see what I'm saying? So I show you loyalty and saying, you know, I'm going to sign this franchise in hopes that, you know, you give me a contract after this season, but then you want to franchise me again, or you want to lowball me on the contract. Why would I go for it? So, I mean, that's, you know, you can look at any sport, man. The teams that have the most talent on the teams are going to win the majority of the times. And the teams that have the majority of the talent they're paying their players.
Yes.
You're not getting LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and all the supporting cast without paying them. You're not getting Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden without paying them. You know, and just like I was talking about people, you know, Chris Middleton got to get money. You know what I mean? Drew Holiday has to get money. You see what I'm saying? So even the role players that you're not just the best on the team, but you're really good, you have to get money. The Steelers don't look at that. They want people to just play because it's the Steelers organization and it's the it's the lore and the fantasy of playing for the Steelers. Like everybody grew up a Steeler fan. I know what type of history they have. It's a nice history. I also know what type of money I can get if I went on the free agents, like in the free market. It's a difference, man.
Yeah, and you know, another thing too is, and we've talked about this extensively. Reggie is big on Najee Harris, and I told him, "What are you going to do when he going to want to demand that money after his rookie contract is over?" And he's willing to get rid of him because he said the Steelers don't pay nobody.
Okay, so this is my whole thing. So you get rid of him to look for another Najee Harris. Who is the person that you're going to get that's going to be so above everybody else that you have to pay him? That's my question. Because now, are we talking about you wouldn't pay Derrick Henry? Are you talking about you wouldn't pay Christian McCaffrey?
He's not paying him anything. Are you talking about you wouldn't? He's not paying him anything. I also asked him, are you guys giving discounts at the stadium for merchandise and food? And he says no. And I'm like, well, you guys are saving money on these rookie contracts or these contracts in general. You got like you as a Steelers fan, he should be getting free Steelers stuff all the time. The amount of money that they are saving, right? So
for him being a loyal Steeler fan.
Yeah. So, but he said they ain't paying nobody. He don't care. But they paid Big Ben. They paid Big Ben.
And they got people out of there because of Big Ben too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, and really, and it's wild too, because Big Ben never really lobbied for his players to get paid. And that's why I always thought was kind of weird as far as like, you know, when you're look at Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers later in his career also, man, but you can go and look up articles where Aaron Rodgers is like, man, go give Aaron Jones whatever he's talking about. Go give Clay Matthews whatever he's talking about. Go give Devontae Adams whatever he's talking about. My tackle over there, go give him whatever he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm gonna put myself in the situation because you know how important I am to the team, and now I'm not happy if these guys aren't happy. You see what I'm saying? And so when you don't have that type of brotherhood or that type of relationship with your players, as a quarterback, where do you really stand with these guys? And see, that's what the whole thing was with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon. You know, sometimes people just want to feel wanted. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and it's tough when it's past the money. Like, you telling me you're not gonna pay me any money, and you talking about this whatever with me too. I gotta leave. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you don't tell me that you want me with too many other words than paying me my money. You know what I
Appreciation.
mean? Like, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
got to make provisions after that. Look at Tom Brady, man. Tom
Yeah.
Brady never been a top paid quarterback, and he could have been that every season.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady wants to be, he could have said, "Man, I want to be $2 million over the second highest paid quarterback. I want to
Yeah.
be just clear over him
Mhm.
every season." Tom Brady could have done that, and he could have demanded that. But guess what? They wouldn't have been able to get that defense. You feel me? They wouldn't have been able to get those kicks. They wouldn't have been able to get everything they needed, honestly, to win those championships. And that's why he is who he is. And, you know, so, and I think that's the tough thing, too, to see, to be a Steelers fan, not want to pay everybody, and then to see the Patriots and Tom Brady not make a lot of money or not try to kill their pockets where they're able to pay, you know, different people or whatnot. That's why he hate Tom Brady with a passion, man,
Oh
because he
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like that
yeah,
he took them pay
yeah.
cuts.
He
He
said
don't. He
Tom
don't
Brady.
like.
He said Tom Brady ain't no
He don't.
GOAT, and he cheated last year, and he should only have about 2 rings.
Listen, man. Listen. That Tom Brady stuff touched. I don't. He's touched about that, and like I just explained. Like, I understand why Tom Brady didn't take a lot of money from the team. The team was able to spend money in other places, and they won too much.
Mhm.
Tom Brady by himself has more rings than the Steelers does. That touches him. We don't get his whole, and it, you know, it does, because his whole thing is the rings. He can't look to the future like that. So his whole thing is the rings, the rings. So we say, well, Tom Brady got more than your whole organization.
Yeah, man. It's
Like,
all
what do
about
you
them
want me
rings,
to
man.
say?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the rings? Tom is the king of the rings, like that by himself. Now what? If you want to talk about, like, he has more rings than all the organizations does. So now like, what do we say now? Because they ain't gonna say his rings don't matter, and I'm gonna say, well, your rings don't matter. Now
Yeah.
let's talk about football today.
He's not gonna have the discussion because
You want to talk about football today, man?
nah,
That's
and
why
you know,
I asked him last time he was on you. One
yeah,
thing too, I come on here after an L. It's like every time I try to rebuttal to this man's after I lost, or like he don't ever want to come on after he take the L. He never want to holler at the mic when he want to wait until he get a dub, or wait till somebody else he don't like lose. You know
so
what I mean? Wait till Dallas lose. Wait, you know, you want to wait till somebody lose to hop on, because you're gonna lose this season. Hop on after some of these L's.
yeah. So this year,
plenty of them.
yeah, this year he said he's not gonna do that because remember last year when they lost, we couldn't find him. He was in my head for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I remember you were kind of harping on that. You was like, "Well, you at Fresh," and he was nowhere to be found.
I'm
so
trying to.
this year it's not
He
gonna
blows
happen.
me up. He blows me up. He hit me up on Facebook and all this type of stuff. As soon as we lose, I don't hit him up. They lose, I don't say nothing to Fresh.
Yeah.
I expect it. They won a lot last season. I ain't hit him up. He was we going crazy, and I ain't hit him up.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Yeah.
Man, it dropped down like it dropped down, and then it's he don't have nothing to say but rings. We got rings. He just ring struck. I don't know what to say to him. It's just like right now, man. You know, the Chicago Bulls have 1,000. They got 6 rings in the league, man, in the NBA. They're trying to come back. They're not talking about they're just as good as the Lakers or just as good as Brooklyn right now. Brooklyn don't have no rings.
Yeah.
Brooklyn don't have no rings. The Chicago Bulls fans not coming out here saying that they're better than the Brooklyn Nets because they don't have no rings. They're not saying that. That's what you sound like. And the Bulls got a solid team.
Yeah.
Well, they should have a solid team coming up next season. You see what I'm saying? But like, they're not saying, well, you know what, man, we're gonna win a championship and we're better than the Brooklyn Nets because we got 6 rings. What does that have to do with this season, bro?
Yeah.
No, you're not. Like, no, you're not. Like, this is not true. No, you're not. So I mean, Fresh want to kind of get into get into the same argument. It's a broken record. You know what I mean? Like it's really a broken record. I stand on everything I said the last time. Man. I don't know if they're going to be the second best team in the division.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be like. I don't know if they're going to be better. Now, one thing I will, the Ravens they touched up with a lot of injuries early. We're going to see them tonight. But they've lost their whole backfield and like Marcus Peters. They've been losing a lot. So my thing is this. If they have a solid season for what all they've lost already, then that's going to tell me something about them even in general too. But past that, the Steelers have to beat them both times. Yeah, beat them both times.
Yeah. So
from what he's talking about, you going to the Super Bowl, you have to beat them both times.
Yeah. They're going to have to. And the Bengals are looking good too. So I still have the Steelers not coming out of the AFC North. That's just me, and I know people don't agree with that, but I just see them faltering this year, especially when people say that they have one of the hardest schedules in the league. I just see them faltering. I don't see Big Ben. Yeah. I don't see Big Ben lasting 13, 14 weeks. And you cannot depend on a rookie running back to carry you to the finish line.
that was my key right there. I was just because I keep saying I like Najee Harris because I do like him. But when you start talking about putting a team on his back, or like let's just say Big Ben threw a couple interception, or his arm goes to looking, like rubber because it can do that.
Yeah,
I can't just put the ball into this young kid's hand and just guarantee like he's about to run into a division championship or a high playoff spot. I can't say that. Their running game wasn't it last year. Like you just can't put a good running back behind a suspect running game and just make it seem like it's going to be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
James Conner, I don't think he's amazing, but I don't think he's that bad either. He's not amazing. He deserves to be in the league and to be a running back, but I don't think he's amazing. I think Najee Harris is a better running back, but man, that's gonna be tough for you to just boost them to playoff contention or championship contention when at the end of the last season they lost 5 out of 6 games and fell on their face at home with a playoff. I don't know.
They ain't had no crowd noise.
No crowd noise. Like what are you talking?
And y'all took his bye week too.
Man, it was COVID last season, man. That's another thing too. Like, listen, it was COVID. Like, okay, so last season we lost to the Jets. We lost to the Jets, and our whole receiving core was out because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole receiving core was out. We could not throw the ball at all. We tried to because they loaded up the box, stopping the run, obviously, but we couldn't throw the ball because we literally have no receivers. I'm not just making excuses about losing games when there were obvious things that were wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason. But when we start to say, okay, well, we both have the majority of who we play with out here, and we're both playing in the same conditions, if there's no crowd noise for me, there's no crowd noise for you. If there's no fans for me, there's no fans for you. We're literally on a neutral field playing. What are you asking for?
So he also said that he also said that this past weekend, they were kind of denying Steelers fans tickets to the game because they felt like Steelers fans they travel well, and that crowd noise is going to be a factor in Buffalo. What do you say to that?
I think Fresh. I think Fresh wakes up and by his bed he has a bowl full of reasons why things went wrong, and he just picks up some out of that bowl every day, and you know what I mean. He can use it. Big Ben put his shoe on left foot instead of right foot first. We lost the game. Mike Tomlin, you know what I mean? He had steak instead of chicken last night. We lost the game. You know what I mean? He drove the wrong car to work.
Ran out of gas.
Listen,
Had to pay my light bill. Like Buddy Love on Nate Professor with all the excuses. Remember he was late to the date. My dog ate my homework.
All I can do is watch the game, Mike. That's all I can do is watch the game. It's tough
my bye
for me
week.
to do more than watch. Yeah, like what are you? And look, I think because you know what, and it's not just him. I think people in general look past what's in their face to explain more than what it already is explained.
Yeah.
Right. So, you could have just lost that game because they were better than you. Not because there was no crowd noise.
But they ain't got 6 rings. They ain't got 6 rings.
That 2 things can be true. You can have 6 rings, and today you just got beat by a better team.
They some scrubs. That's what he's gonna say.
2 things
Every team is a scrub to him, except for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, but if every team was a scrub, then why aren't you winning every championship?
Hey, Fresh. I think you got to answer.
We know about the rings. Oh, Mike, the rings dusty. I mean, it's good that you got them. I don't want to I'm not trying to. I can't deny a ring. Like you said, it's if you back me up into a corner and keep saying the same thing, I'm gonna keep giving you the same answer to the same question. You have rings. Okay, what's next?
He also said that Terry Bradshaw is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's the GOAT. Terry Bradshaw is the GOAT.
See, this what I'm saying, Mike. Like, where's the basis for this stuff at? Like,
he got the rings. He got the ring.
But he don't have the most rings. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we basing all this stuff off of? We say that the Steelers are the best this, and then that the Terry Bradshaw's the go.
He got them rings, man.
How? Nobody says that. Like, nobody has that argument. I always feel like just because other people don't definitely about something, I'm wrong about it. But when I'm talking about even Steelers fans, Steelers quarterback ever, and they love this man with a passion. They're not about to say nothing silly like that. So, I mean, he's a different type of fan, man. Like, we're dealing with something that really don't know what to deal with. He doesn't know how to deal with himself. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know what he's going to say next. He gonna say something and then, forget he said it and say something complete contradictory to it. Oh, man, Big Ben should be gone and retired. We just going to work something out. Now, all of a sudden, Big Ben is the savior again.
Yep.
How? How is he your savior? And you just said last year that he needs to leave. He needs to go somewhere.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
He doesn't know what he wants, man.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know. I like my team, and I like really. I mean, I'm not going to say Baker Mayfield our savior. I think there's better quarterbacks out there. But for what we have around him, I think he should be successful. And I see us being successful, especially this season. I can't say that about Big Ben. Can't say that about Big Ben. He doesn't have a lot around him to be successful, and him himself is broke down. And I want to see him week 7. I want to see him week 7, week 8, or week 8. I need to see when we play him. I want to bet Fresh. I want to put something on that, man, because I don't believe in him. At no point in time, I don't believe in him. He gonna have to show me twice. And then they'd be better off we don't play him in the playoffs again, because I'm betting them right back then again. I don't believe. Fresh gonna have to come with something to do. We're gonna have to make something shake. I need to get this man in the Browns cape or something, dog. We gonna do something.
Hey, we gonna set it up, man. We gonna set it up, man. Oh man, it's gonna be a fun season this year.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna have a lot of bets, a lot of monetary bets, and a lot of just clowning type of bets. As always, man. Hey, I appreciate everything you do for the channel, brother. We gonna get this battle rap stuff popping off for these battle rap fans out there.
We're gonna run that. I'm getting the app.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
So Fresh, man. Hey, he's back. He is back on the panel.
What I
There you have it,
said, what
folks.
is it?
Hey, look.
You hear me? Number
Hey.
one, man.
Well, there
Fresh,
you have
gotta
it,
fuck
folks.
with it, Fresh. I don't
Go ahead.
believe.
Talk your stuff real quick. Final
What'd you
words for
say?
Fresh.
Man, Fresh, man, tell this man, Fresh, I'm comfortable. I got a large smoothie instead of a medium just because the lady like me. And I like him, and I want to get a smoothie from him.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Rocket City Network. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we out. Yeah.